We're gonna do a white marble, a classic Carrara marble look with this rock face edge. It's a 1-2 punch to realism to make your countertops look like high-end expensive marble. Don't miss this easy technique. We've perfected it over the last 15 years of working with epoxy, our hands, and a little know-how. Stay tuned, enjoy the video. This is one of my favorite color recipes. This is a light, bright, white Carrara marble. When you're doing a white countertop, use our art coat. We have more UV blockers, UV inhibitors, hulls, and other things that make it non-yellowing. This is the most non-yellowing epoxy resin on planet Earth. Trust me, we've tested everything and we love this formula. So we're gonna use our art coat as the resin. We're gonna use our diamond dust metallic powder. We're gonna use our silver and white metallic powders. Have you seen what our diamond dust can do? It's like putting crushed mica within your countertop surface. It looks gorgeous. We're also gonna use white and silver spray paint. I like adding spray paint because it reacts with the dye and the metallic powders to create cells and different structure that you would see in actual natural stone. I'm also using our black and white dye. Now remember, I said I'm doing a light colored stone, so why would I use black? Well, you can mix and match and you can actually make your own custom tints, your own custom color by just putting a little bit of black and more white and creating a light gray. So I want some gray within this stone. I'm probably gonna do an exotic pour. What does that mean? It means I'm gonna mix up all the colors separately. I'm gonna put them in their own receptacle, and then I'm gonna pour that out, use my hands, have some fun, and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna mix our art coat at a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm gonna mix that with the drill for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna pour all of that material in the individual buckets. I'm gonna add our additives, that way I can pour them back into the bucket so they don't mix and match, they just layer one another, so when I pour them out, it does the trick. It does that exotic, natural stone look. I also will have a little extra, that way if I wanna add some veins or some other effects, I can do so. Remember, if you're doing a large kitchen and you're in place, you can follow these same exact steps and go over existing laminate, cultured marble, cultured stone. You can do this over existing countertops by following the same steps. You just need to mask off the area so you don't make a mess. Do you see how thick our part A is? That's not by accident. That's on purpose so that our materials don't flow right off your flat surface onto the floor and ruin the effects that you work so hard to create and love. If you use a resin that's too thin, it's like water. It just washes out and it doesn't look as vibrant or natural. So keep in mind, Stone Coat Epoxy is designed for your countertop projects, for your tabletops, your desktops, your hearths. We have flooring epoxy, we do showers, the sky's the limit, and it's formulated for your needs. All right, I'm just using a tongue depressor and I'm gonna mix everything vigorously. I don't wanna leave any unmixed metallic powders in the bottom of these cups. I wanna mix it so I don't get tadpoles, and that's okay. I have a long open time in our epoxy that's designed so you don't have to be in a rush. So you don't need to be worried about getting everything done super fast. You can take your time and not stress. This is the no stress epoxy. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to this. Just a touch. Kind of undermix it too. Look at that, what it does. Let's mix a little bit of custom gray here. Okay, I'm gonna mix that up and then I'll add just a touch of black. That's pretty, man. I want this to be a very light countertop, remember. So I'm gonna add a touch of white dye to this metallic right here. really mix that in. Okay, we're gonna add some white dye in there. A little bit more white spray paint in there. A little bit of silver spray paint. Okay, that's a good base now. Look how pretty that is. Okay, here we go. Let's pour these in. Little spray paint overlapping them. And I'm just pouring them random, okay? Not really overthinking it too much. All right, man, I'm gonna put the rest of these aside in case I need some extra. I could make another little bucket of stuff, you know, for anything I might miss. Sometimes I'll put down a wash coat, but I think we're just gonna pour right on this and see what happens. And this is just some masking tape to temporarily hold all of our materials in place. Remember, this didn't take me all that long. I've been working this project for about, I don't know, a half an hour, 20 minutes. The hardest part is mixing the material. The fun part begins right here and right now. If you follow this same recipe, you're gonna get an outstanding result. This exotic pour technique is designed to take the artistic portion out of the game. You put it in a bucket, you pour it out, watch what happens. Here we go. And I'm just going in like kind of an angular pattern here. Just gonna see how this comes out. To get a little bit more epoxy to come out, I'm just kind of pressing the sides of the bucket just to create some squeeze out there. As you go through the bucket, you're gonna get different colors that come out. But remember, I used a recipe here that's actually very light. It's very white. And so you're not gonna get as contrasting of a project, but that's kind of what I was going for here. A lot of people like a subtle white marble, an onyx, a Carrara marble. See how I'm just going over other spots? It's okay, guys. Punch perfectionism in the face. Now I'm just going back and looking for the biggest void and I'm filling it. You get this pattern by actually going forward over your drips. When you pull back away from your epoxy, you get a soft pattern. When you go towards the pour, you get a scaled pattern. I mixed a bunch of variation. I did white spray paint, white metallic, diamond dust. I did silvers in metallic. I did silver in spray paint. I did white dye. I mixed white and black to create my own light gray. Now they're all from the same family. They're subtle, but the differences within this piece are absolutely breathtaking. This looks like a piece of high-end marble, something that came straight from Italy out of the mountain where the Carrara marble mountains exist. I absolutely love that we didn't have to go into the quarry and cut this out. We created this with our hands. What do you think, guys? I love this recipe. Is this something that you can envision in your own space? Tell you what, I like this recipe so much, we're gonna do step-by-step written instructions so you can go right to stonecoatcountertops.com. You can see the instructions, you can rewatch this video. We'll give you the entire kit. Depending on your square footage, we'll break that down and take the math out of it for you. This is a DIY project on a silver platter for white marble. I'm gonna leave the tape on these edges for quite a while. I'm gonna let this epoxy start to gel and to set up, and then I'll pull it off and I'll rub those edges out horizontally. I don't want to lose my pattern. I poured this on a little bit thick, and that's because I wanted to completely cover this piece and give it that exotic look. If I were to pull this tape, it'll start to flow. Not as much as a thin epoxy, because remember, we have a thick, nice body to our resin. However, I will get it to move a little bit once I pull that tape. So let's let it set up. Let's let it do its thing. And I'll probably come back in about, I don't know, maybe about an hour, and I'll pull that tape and I'll rub out those edges. Stay tuned. It'll be fast. Okay, guys, it's been, I'd say about an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. It is 72 degrees in here, and so everything's setting up pretty nice. It's gelling. How do I know? because I touched the drips on the edges, and I went ahead and made sure we're ready to go. And you can see it's still running, but it's starting to set up. Okay, so it's going pretty slow. So that's where I want it when I peel that tape. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll rub out these edges. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is just scoop up whatever dripped off this deck here and just rub it on these edges. If you haven't seen this recipe, this countertop, don't miss it. Share this video, like it, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, do all the things. We'll see you on the next video. And remember, from Stone Coat Countertops, you got this.